There are moments in life that break you, moments when the world you built, piece by piece, hope by hope, breath by breath, collapses in front of you. It could be the loss of a person, a dream, a life you thought was yours, or the version of yourself you once believed in. And when it happens, it feels as if the floor has disappeared, like there is no direction left, no meaning, no voice inside you to guide you, just quiet emptiness. Nietzsche understood this kind of collapse deeply, not as tragedy, but as a turning point. He wrote, "What does not destroy me makes me stronger." But this is not a motivational slogan. It is not a phrase to be thrown at pain. It is a recognition. The moment you lose everything is the moment you are given the chance to become something new, not rebuilt according to your past, but reborn according to your truth. When life falls apart, there is a stage after loss where you feel numb, where you wake up and the world feels distant, where conversations sound hollow, where even the things that used to matter feel heavy and meaningless. Nothing feels right. Nothing feels like you. This is not failure. This is not weakness. This is the death of an old identity. Nietzsche believed you live many lives in one lifetime, and each transformation begins with something breaking. He said, "You must be willing to burn yourself in your own flame." How could you rise new if you have not first become ashes? The loss you are facing is not the end. It is the fire that clears the field of who you are not. Some pain is proof you are awake. Most people never confront themselves. They wrap their lives in comfort, distraction, routine, and call it living. But when life breaks you, comfort is stripped away, and without the noise you are forced to meet the truth of your own soul, the grief, the rage, the longing, the confusion, the fear of what comes next. This is not a sign that you are destroyed. This is the sign that you are alive. Nietzsche wrote, "There is a certain wisdom in pain. Pain shows you what mattered, what was real, what needs healing. Who you have the potential to become pain is the threshold. If you can stay with it, without running, without numbing, it will reveal you to yourself. And the world will not understand your grief. People rush recovery. They want you to move on. They want you to be yourself again. They want you to look forward. But they are not the one who lost. They are not carrying your emptiness. They do not understand what it means to have your identity unmade. So, their words fall flat. Nietzsche understood this loneliness. He said, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." This is the grief no one sees. When you lose everything, you also lose who you were. And no one around you understands that the person they are waiting to return no longer exists. You are not returning to your past self. You are becoming someone new. Do not rush the rebuilding. The world pushes urgency. Fix it, replace it, distract yourself, fill the emptiness. But emptiness is not a mistake. Emptiness is the space in which new life grows. If you rush to fill the void, you rebuild the same life you lost. If you sit in the void, You create a life aligned with your soul. Nietzsche taught that real transformation is not fast. Become who you are means becoming slowly. This is where rebirth begins, not in doing, but in being with the ache, being with the silence, being with the part of you that doesn't know what comes next. This is sacred. This is the ground of becoming. All your old self is gone. The person you were, the beliefs you held, the dreams you chased, the identity you wore was real, but it is gone now, and mourning that self is allowed. You are not weak for grieving who you used to be. You are human. But understand this, the past version of you broke because it had reached its limit. It could not carry the weight of your growth. It could not go where your soul is leading. It could not rise to the level your destiny demands. So, life removed it, not to punish you, but to free you. So the turning point begins in silence. There will come a day, not a dramatic day, not a loud day, but a quiet day, when you wake up and whisper to yourself, I cannot stay broken forever. This is not strength. This is acceptance. You stop fighting the loss. You stop clinging to what was. You stop waiting for the past to return. You begin to turn, not away from the pains, but through it. And something inside you shifts, not loudly, but like a small flame starting in the dark, a flame that says, I am still here. This is where rebuilding begins, not in confidence, not in clarity, not in joy, but in the moment you decide to keep living even with your heart still aching. Nietzsche believed that the strongest souls are not the ones who avoid suffering, but the ones who give meaning to it. He wrote, to live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. You are not trying to erase your pain. You are learning to walk with it. You are not trying to be who you were before. You are learning to be someone wiser. You are not rebuilding your old life. You are building a new one. Slowly, quietly, tenderly. One breath, one step, one choice at a time. There comes a moment after the collapse when the shock begins to soften. The grief remains, but the numbness loosens its hold. You begin to feel again, not fully, not steadily, but occasionally, like small waves touching the shore. This is the beginning of returning to life. But this return is not a leap. It is a slow relearning, a gentle rebuilding, a quiet remembering of yourself. Nietzsche believed that rebirth is not dramatic. It is patient. He said, become who you are means becoming slowly. So let us step slowly now into the rebuilding. Here's step one, sit with what hurts. The instinct after loss is to escape. Work more, sleep more, talk more, distract more. Fill every second with movement, because stillness is where the pain speaks. But Nietzsche believed that pain is not the enemy. Pain is the messenger. One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Your chaos is not a flaw. Your chaos is the clay your new life will be shaped from. Sit with the pain, not to suffer, but to listen. It will show you what mattered, what needs healing, what must change. what must never be repeated. Pain is your teacher now, and teachers often speak softly. Step 2. Allow yourself to be incomplete. You are not supposed to have answers yet. You're not supposed to be okay. You're not supposed to know who you are becoming. Rebuilding begins not with clarity, but with honest uncertainty. The old identity is gone. The new identity has not yet formed. This in-between is frightening, but it is also sacred. Nietzsche wrote, "Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed." You lost your illusions. This is why you hurt. But this also means you are finally free to build your life on something real. Step 3. Remove what cannot come with you. After loss, life becomes simple. Some people fall away naturally, not because they are bad, but because your soul no longer matches theirs. You begin to see who only wanted the old you, who cannot hold space for your becoming, who needed your silence to feel comfortable, who benefited from your self-abandonment. Let them go. Nietzsche said, "The lonely one offers his hand too quickly to whomever he encounters." Do not rush to fill the space. The right people will not fear your grief. The right people will not rush your healing. The right people will not need you to pretend. Release anyone who does. This is not loss. This is clearing. Step 4. Rebuild your life from the inside. The world teaches you to rebuild from the outside. New job, new relationship, new environment, new goals. But Nietzsche taught the opposite. True rebuilding is internal. He who has a why can bear almost any how. You rebuild not by changing your surroundings, but by changing what you believe about yourself. Ask yourself, what did I learn from the collapse? What was false in my old life? What did I tolerate that hurt my spirit? What do I now know I can never return to? The collapse was not destruction. It was revelation. You are not rebuilding who you were. You are building who you were always meant to become. Step 5. Let small things matter. Again, when life breaks you, the world loses color, but color returns in small moments: the warmth of morning sunlight, the taste of tea, the sound of quiet rain, the softness of your own breath, the kindness of a stranger, the laughter that surprises you, the way your heart stirs again just a little. Do not rush these moments. Do not analyze them. Do not ask why they are small. The small moments are how life re-enters you. Nietzsche understood this deeply. There are no beautiful surfaces without a terrible depth. Your depth was carved by pain. Your beauty will return in pieces. Let it. Step 6. Learn to trust yourself again. Loss breaks confidence. You start to doubt your judgment, your choices, your path, your strength. And rebuilding requires trusting your inner voice again. Not the voice of fear, not the voice of pain, but the voice underneath, the one that has always been there, quiet, steady, unmoving. The voice that says, "I will not abandon myself again." This is where the hero is born, Nietzsche wrote. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. You are learning to conquer your doubt, your avoidance, your self-silencing, your fear of being wrong. You are learning to stand with yourself. This is the foundation of your new life. To step 7, choose life again. There will come a moment, not loud, not dramatic, when something inside you shifts. A small voice whispers, I want to live again. Not live as before, not live for others, not live to prove, not live to perform, live for yourself. This is the turning point, when pain stops being your identity and becomes your history, when loss stops being your ending and becomes your beginning, when emptiness is no longer something you fear, but something you grow from. Your new life is not born in grand decisions. It begins the moment you choose life again, even while you still carry the ache. But you're not done. You're only at the threshold. The collapse was not the end. The emptiness was not failure. The pain was not punishment. You are in the middle of becoming, and the person emerging is not weaker, but truer. Your next chapter is not about rebuilding who you were. Your next chapter is about becoming who you were meant to be all along. There will come a morning when you realize the silence no longer scares you, where once the quiet echoed with a loss, now it feels like space. A space that belongs to you, a space where something new can grow. This is the moment your rebirth begins, not with a dramatic vow, not with a sudden transformation, not with the world noticing, but with something small and genuine, a breath that does not hurt, a thought that feels peaceful, a moment of stillness that feels like home. This is the soul returning to itself. The slow reawakening, you begin to notice that life, once heavy and colorless, is becoming gentle again. Your steps, once dull and directionless, begin to feel purposeful, even if you don't know your destination yet. Your heart, once exhausted, begins to feel warmth again. This is not forgetting. This is not moving on. This is remembering yourself. Nietzsche understood this rebirth. He wrote, "We love life, not because we are used to living, but because we are used to loving." The ability to love life returns slowly, but it returns. You no longer break. When you remember, grief does not disappear. Loss does not vanish. You simply learn to live alongside it. You learn to carry your memory without shattering under its weight. You learn to feel without drowning. You learn to remember without collapsing. Your pain has softened, not because time healed you, but because you grew strong enough to hold it. This is emotional sovereignty. This is spiritual maturity. This is the hero's quiet triumph. Rebuilding your identity. The self you are becoming now is not a return to who you were. It is someone wiser, someone deeper, someone who has walked through fire and kept their heart open. Your identity begins to rebuild in subtle ways. You speak more honestly. You choose more slowly. You give less of yourself to what drains you. You allow your boundaries to be firm. You value peace more than approval. You no longer rush your own growth. This is not self-protection. This is self-respect. Nietzsche said, "The higher man is distinguished from the lower by his fearlessness in face of the unforeseen." Once you have lost everything you feared losing, the world cannot intimidate you anymore. Your courage is now real. Yet the world begins to mirror your inner strength. People sense the shift in you, not because you have become louder, but because you have become grounded. Your presence feels steady. Your eyes feel clear. Your silence has weight. Your words are fewer, but truer. You do not rush to explain yourself. You do not fight to prove yourself. You do not chase understanding. You simply stand. This is the posture of someone who has returned to themselves. And the world responds to that. Right people are drawn to your depth. Right opportunities gravitate to your clarity. Right paths open for your alignment. And you do not force any of it. You simply allow. The rebirth of meaning. After losing everything, your definition of meaning changes. You no longer look for purpose in grand achievements. You no longer seek validation through recognition. You no longer chase worth through accomplishment. Meaning becomes a conversation that feels honest, a relationship that feels safe, a morning that feels peaceful, a moment where your chest expands instead of tightens. Meaning returns in humble ways, real ways, human ways. Nietzsche understood this shift. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Your why is no longer outside you. Your why is in you. It is how you live, how you love, how you choose, how you show up to the world and to yourself. Forgiving your old self. Before you step fully forward, there is one final act: forgiveness. Not forgiveness of others, that may come later, but forgiveness of yourself. Forgive yourself for staying too long, for trusting the wrong people, for ignoring your instincts, for hiding your truth, for breaking your own heart to keep others comfortable, for not knowing better at the time. You survived. That is enough. Nietzsche said, "No one can build you the bridge on which you must walk across the river of life. No one but you." Every mistake was part of your crossing. You did not fail. You learned. You did not break. You transformed. And now you step forward, lighter. The quiet return of hope. Hope does not return with fireworks. It returns like a flicker, like the smallest warmth in the chest, like a fragile flower growing through cracked stone. Honor it, protect it, feed it gently. You are not rebuilding your old life. You are building a life that fits your soul. You are not becoming who you were before. You are becoming who you were meant to be. Then, the final understanding. You did not lose everything. You lost everything that was not aligned with your becoming. You did not break. You were reborn. You did not end. You began. Nietzsche's philosophy is not just about strength. It is about transformation, about enduring the fire not to be destroyed, but to be purified. And now, you can survive the collapse. You can stand in the ashes. You can rebuild from the quiet. You can rise from within. You are not the victim of your life. You are the author. You are the witness. You are the rebuilder. You are the rebirth. You have lost everything, and now you are free to become anything.